Hey, Campbell, all of my peeps are down here in New Orleans for the big Southern Leadership Republican Conference. And guess what they're not talking about?
Bondage clubs?
Some of them are, not all of them are. Did you visit any while you were here, by the way?
No, I don't. We are in New Orleans, and trust me, I'm quite sure some of those Republicans will be at one of those clubs. But first of all, bad week, last couple of weeks for Michael Steele.
On their own private time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what they're not talking about, because only us in our little orbit are talking about Michael Steele. He's fine. He's not going anywhere. He's made some missteps, but he's doing okay.
He cleaned house this week. You know, chief of staff resigned. Brought a new person in. Of course, they fired the young lady last week with the young Eagles.
Responsibility was taken.
So taking responsibility. So it seems as if he's trying to right the ship, but he probably recognized that he was catching a lot of heat, and frankly, unnecessarily.
But you know, a lot of pundits were popping off without doing the work that Dan Balls or Jonathan Martin and Politico did to understand the makeup of the committee. It's 168 people. They voted him in. Only they can vote him out.
2/3.
And so he is there. We're a couple months away from a big election, and no one in that election is going to go to the voting booth saying anything other than we're going to vote for a Republican. We don't care about Michael Steele. We don't like this health care. We don't like this
vote for Republican or
Democrat.
But obviously, though, you do have to be concerned when it comes to raising money when you have donors who are saying we're going to lay back. Tony Perkins is saying don't give to the RNC. But they're going to give to some Republican source anyway.
It's fungible. It's very fungible. Plus...
Fungible? What does that mean?
Meaning you can't take money out of politics. See, I should ask you questions about bondage. The RNC had a record March. They raised $11 million. So if donors don't go away, they go to another committee, and there's 3 other committees.
And plus, he made the point that, look, I mean, you had Rudy Giuliani this week, who was obviously backing Steele, saying, look, the guy shouldn't go anywhere. And speaking of Rudy Giuliani, he went down to Florida. To campaign on the behalf of Rubio, who's running against Charlie Crist. And, Mary, I'm sorry, I got a big kick out of Rudy Giuliani talking about who's a really strong Republican or strong conservative. I'm going, let's see, Mr. Gay Marriage, Mr. Pro-Choice, trying to talk about who's a real Republican? Come on.
Well, who's a real Democrat? Wrangle a tax cheater? Or, look, there's all kinds of Republicans here representing all kinds of different views. I'm a libertarian. Most of them, all of them, are constitutionalists and federalists. It's very good for Marco to have Giuliani down there.
But you're making my point. You're making my point, though, that there are different people who are in both parties. There are people who are liberal, who are moderate, who are conservative. You talked about being libertarian. And the problem I have on both parties is when people try to say, oh, no, this is what it means to be a real Democrat. You must be far left, or a real Republican. It means to be far right. No, it depends upon, frankly, what the makeup of the district or your state.
Correct. But I want to say to your blue dogs, come on home. Come on home,
well,
blue dogs. They're conservatives. They belong in the conservative party.
So I'm used to it. But again, I don't mind either way, because on some issues, frankly, I might lean liberal. Others, I might lean conservative. I don't buy this nonsense of ideology anyway. I look at people, but I have a problem when people want to weed out people who disagree with them in both parties. You need different views in both parties.
No weeding out. We're just weeding in, and I'll say again, come on over, blue dogs. Come on back. We're going to have a lot of blue dogs.
And I'm sure Olympia Snow and Collins and Voinovich, people are saying, come on over to the Democratic Party, because the Republicans don't want you.
No.